Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. And today I'm going to be talking about a company that probably is not that relevant for most people, and very few people actually know. Well, it was big a while ago, but recently it has definitely fallen off the map. And that's going to be the company Snapchat. So, what has their recent performance been? So year to date, they're down about 24%, which is about $2 off of where they were at the start of the year. So it's definitely been punished this year, and I really did want to take a look at whether or not this punishment is worth it, and whether or not there possibly is a turnaround angle for this company. So what is the core business of Snapchat? We see this yellow ghost here, and most people already know it's going to be engagement. It's going to be that picture you send once a day, and it's going to be really engagement on the app itself. So advertisement with engage plus engagement, it's basically how a lot of these large social media companies make their money, and that's really the area that is going for. And or at least they are rolling out a subscription service to supplement that advertising revenue. I'm not going to be going over too much about their business model because they really don't have much here. They have advertising that makes up about 87% of their revenue, with subscriptions being a substantial and growing part of their revenue stream. Snapchat ads and AR ads, or AR here would be augmented reality. This would be ads between user content. So they actually do have a search feature where you can, and like a scrolling feature where you can go through and look for things. Augmented reality ads can be the filters, sometimes you get like brands trying to put their items onto the filters for like a snap, that type of things. And the subscription service is Snapchat Plus. So this really gives you a bunch of in-app benefits and allows you to get like no ads, essentially random ass badges, and just a bunch of little in-game perks. Not in-game perks, but in-app perks for the users that grab the subscription service. So that's really all there is for them making money. So what tailwinds do they really have? I think this is really the four tailwinds they have. They do technically have a growing user base, but that is going to come with an asterisk, and talk about that in a bit. Subscription growth, I think that's probably a big impact for them in the future. Augmented reality, this is a big question mark for Snapchat, and I'll get into that as well. In my overall thesis, I do think this is probably the most important part of their company. And the broader monetization is going to be definitely something that they want to get. That's going to help them bring in more revenue and actually become more profitable. So technically, they have a growing user base. They had daily active users up 9%. However, this is despite the fact that in North America, user base is down 2%, which is not great because users in America tend to give the most revenue. The rest of the world had a 16% growth. So that's pretty nice. It means that actually a lot of users are not going to be inside of North America. And that's nice to see that they are growing outside, but it hurts to see that the biggest economy in the world isn't really participating in this type of growth. So subscription base, they had 64% growth in subscriptions, which is really good. But the issue is subscription is only making up a really small part of their income, right? So yes, this is more regular money. This is more predictable income. So it's great that they're going down this direction for shareholders. But I don't really think this is that big of an impact as of this moment, simply because how much the money is still coming from ad revenue. Like I said, that was 74%, almost 30, around 3/4, which is still a considerable portion. Or no, it was 87%. My bad, that's even more. That's like four-fifths, more than four-fifths. So yeah. Augmented reality. This, I think, is the biggest thing for Snapchat. They are really making it easy to test ads in augmented reality. Augmented reality can make better advertisements. Uh, so more return on investment for the advertisers means more revenue for Snapchat because people want to advertise on there more. And they are a leader in augmented reality. And they actually have a platform that was designed for augmented reality. And this is the thing I think that Snapchat, if they really do want to become a successful company, needs to get better at, which is monetizing augmented reality. They are the leader in the sector. And if they find a way to efficiently monetize augmented reality, or get the society excited about augmented reality and supply augmented reality to the people, to everyone else, And because they are the leader in augmented reality, they were one of the first people to do this, and they have essentially a playground just for augmented reality. Leaning into this is probably the biggest area of potential I see for the company. I don't think they can succeed once we get to the headwinds when it comes to competing with the big social media companies. They can't really play in that field because they aren't big enough, and they will get shut out and basically just struggle to keep their heads afloat. Struggle to keep their head above water in this area. So broader monetization is definitely a tailwind for them, but this is going to be like influencer subscriptions. Not really, like you can read at these, and I don't think this is going to really move the needle at all, for when it comes to where they can, yes, they might make more money, but doesn't mean that it is a money that is going to be coming in more regularly. Uh, all right, headwinds. This is the area where I might talk a long time about Snapchat, simply because I think Snapchat has a lot of headwinds in its way, especially if they try to keep going down this social media path. So competition-wise, competition, everyone already knows essentially about engagement, what I'm going to call engagement sharks, right? The biggest companies when it comes to engagement, you have Meta with Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp for messaging, right? Those are competing for your attention. And then on the other side, you have TikTok, you have YouTube, you have Netflix, you have just so many different forms of entertainment that surpass what Snapchat can provide you. So this is a very high competition area that Snapchat is attempting to find a niche in, which, because of the heightened competition, is really, really difficult for them to find their place. So I really believe in Snapchat being able to compete in this area. That's why I say the competition for this company is a very high impact of a headwind. Next up, advertisement volatility. They are unpredictable as a whole, advertisement, because when macroeconomic conditions worsen, one of the first things that go are advertising, because you need to keep your inventory up to date. You can't stop spending on trying to get people, trying to getting your items to your consumers, right? You can't stop that. But one of the things you can cut back on is advertising, or try to be more efficient with advertising. And you're not going to be just saying yes to every single platform that wants to take your advertisement, which means that because they are a small player, people are more inclined to give this advertisement money to companies like Google, companies like Meta, Amazon, where they have a much better guarantee that they're going to get a return on that investment. So this is a relatively big impact. I don't think this is the biggest impact to their as a headwind, simply because this is going to be factored in, and they are going to be impacted more so by anyone else in the industry about this. But there's just much bigger headwinds for them than this advertisement volatility. Stagnant growth in North America. This is also, I think, a medium issue, simply because while they are growing everywhere else, like I said, North America has the most wealthy consumer base. And with that comes the fact that advertisement are willing to pay a lot more to advertise in North America because they can get more revenue out of North America. So if you're losing ground to competitors in North America, it means that you are losing ground in basically the best market. And this is, especially if you're trying to play the social media game, it is not a good sign for a company to lose market share in an area that they used to be super dominant in. I remember when I was in middle school, high school, Snapchat was the craze. People wanted to be using Snapchat, and yet Snapchat let that phase essentially slip out of their hands. People could have kept using Snapchat, but it never provided anything different, any meaningful change to keep people wanting to stay on the app and stay wanting to stay with the company and the app as a whole, and use it as a place for influencing people, or for a place to communicate and connect with other people in the friend group. A lack of profitability. This is probably one of the biggest issues facing Snapchat. They have high R&D costs, they have losses, and it is why the value of the company has tanked. It has tanked simply because they're not making money. Investors need to see a return on their investments, and Snapchat is not giving them that ROI. And this is definitely a high impact. They need to turn this around if they want any type of semblance of being able to survive, or else they are going to go bankrupt. If you don't make any revenue, you're not making any, you don't have money to keep the business alive. So now that I've gone through basically all the headwinds and tailwinds, let me give you my overall thesis for Snapchat. The headwinds are significant concerns for Snapchat. I don't think that any of them are overblown. I think any one of those issues could actually crumble the company. The company is really stacked playing on a house of cards. And if a bad macroeconomic conditions come along and blow that house of cards down, it is very likely that Snapchat can go out of business, even with, or at least downsize dramatically to try to keep users out of sight of North America. And this is a thing that I think that most people haven't recognized, and I don't even know if Snapchat will be able to do this. But I sincerely believe that augmented reality is what Snapchat will live or die off of. If they're able to find a good way to monetize augmented reality or to get augmented reality into the popular zeitgeist where people want to use it, more games that use augmented reality, if they can get their augmented reality glasses into the mainstream where people want to play games off of that, where people want to use that type of technology, then they will be able to dramatically turn themselves around, even with the app itself is not going to be successful. Because I don't think Snapchat can survive off of the app itself. The app is just, let's be honest, it's a worse version of TikTok, Instagram, and whatever else you want to put on there. And even it is just, it's even worse than if you want to say YouTube Shorts. Right? A lot of this Snapchat cannot live or die off of the app itself because the app itself is dying. That being said, subscriptions are going to temper some of the issues, but that doesn't solve any of the other issues, right? The revenue growth, sure, that'll help ease with the revenue sustainability, yes, but it doesn't solve the issue that advertisers are not going to be looking at them as the first source of first location for ads. It doesn't solve the issue that they're putting so much money into R&D. It doesn't solve the issue of a declining user base. And that really segues pretty well into the last point. They need to find a way, if they are dead set on getting back to having profitability within the app, they need to get users back. But what, like I said, I don't think this is the way that Snapchat needs to go to make money. Snapchat get has to play to the strength of augmented reality and find some way, maybe cooperating with some big businesses or getting a boost from a business like maybe a gaming industry business to actually fund games that can run off the glasses or that link or maybe linking their app to their glasses and having some apps or games developed to be able to go off of the glasses themselves. Something like Pokemon Go, except if you have it with glasses, then you don't, and you can just see it and use augmented reality and not have to carry your phone around or something, things along those lines, where you can use AR to supplement what you have as an app. That's really the only way forward for Snapchat, I think. So that being said, let's go into what I think their overall price is. The current price is $8. From the revenue, from a very generous point of view of the revenue, I give them essentially a price of $10. Free cash flow, because of the amount of debt that they're in, and this is also an issue, because of the amount of debt they're in, they actually have a negative price value when it comes to my free cash flow analysis, which is terrible. Essentially, it means that the free cash flow I see them generating is not worth as much as the debt that they're in right now. So that is going to be cautionary for anyone who wants to buy this company. And as such, I think it is very valid for me to say that this company is just a sell. I don't think that it is worth anything at this point until they can prove that they are able to make augmented reality a thing that is a popular zeitgeist or a thing in the popular zeitgeist. I do not believe in this company at all, and I do not think anyone should really own this company as of this moment. Thank you guys for listening to me rant about Snapchat for the last about 15 minutes. Hope you guys had some insight into how I think about the company. If you guys disagree or disagree with me, let me know. If you have any other companies you'd like me to go over, please let me know and I'll try to get to it. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.